Let the downplaying, as the chat says, commence. By downplaying, I mean start spitting. Like Deborah. Welcome to the 2024 definitive Palu matchup chart. You hear any other Palu say something, they're wrong and they're bad. Alright? Shout out to the other Palus making a hard-working mid-tier, like through the roof, working just to barely clutch some games. Keyword clutch. It means they have to put even more effort to barely scrap by. I'm gonna formulate, or like the formula for this is gonna be kind of quick to make it more digestible for the viewers and stuff like that. And obviously in the future, when this is a video, you have a question about, like, if I don't get to like a certain character or something, well, you come to my stream and you ask me, or in the comments, either or. And even like you guys right now that are here in person, or like, you know, live and stuff, because I am doing this on my stream. So yeah, so I'm just gonna look through this. I'm not gonna say anything until I put every character in the +2 category that I think should be on the +2 category. There might be a +3 low-key Ganondorf. But let us start. All right, part 1. There'll be some changes, but like, you know, let me like, I have a good amount of characters already there to like, you know, start like yapping and shit. Also, you know, the order of where they are, unless I specify, it doesn't really matter. You know, you can't say, when people say, oh, this is a harder +2 than this, that literally doesn't make any sense. A +2 is a +2. If Isabelle is a harder +2 than Ice Climbers, then Isabelle is a +1, because that doesn't make any fucking sense. People who make tier lists, how the fuck does that make sense? Anyways, these characters on this row, they have to be like 3 steps ahead, like 80% of the game, to sometimes barely win, if you do win. I guess to like group some of these characters, I'll try to like put them together to make it a little easier. But like, obviously, you know, for like King K. Rool and Dedede, they're fat characters, like big body characters with a sluggish movement. They got some decent moves, you know, like Dedede has some disjoints and stuff, but for the most part, because of his end lag and like, you know, big body target, Gordo is just ineffective against pretty much anything Palu does. My projectiles send it back. My back air, all my moves have an easy time sending it back. I can even ignore the move sometimes as well, because back air's intangibility can hit the Gordo and then hit Dedede. So, you know, Dedede's main game plan is basically just shut down. Obviously, he does get to live for a decent while, but because he's such a large body character and the heaviest character in the game, down throw back air works till infinity against him. Same for King K. Rool. And as for K. Rool, his recovery route is different than Dedede's, but it is very easy for Palutena to just go to the right spot and hit the side of K. Rool when he has to up B. If you can force him to up B, which is very easy to do because he doesn't have the best time dodging stuff like auto reticle or like, you know, saving resources to approach the ledge. Yeah, those characters get fucked up. Richter, very slow character, very projectile heavy character. Auto reticle can stop the cross and also continue because it's 3 beams, so one cross can hit one auto reticle beam can hit the cross, and then the other 2 hit Richter on the side. So like, even like doing that from far off stage, or not off stage, I guess, yeah, sometimes like a common Richter and Simon habit is they jump up and then they throw the cross the opposite way to like have it come towards the stage while they're trying to recover. But if I auto reticle that, they just jump, leave themselves wide open, burn their double jump, and now they're just dead because the auto reticle beams will push them too far away to come back without a jump. Shit happens all the time. I don't know why they do that still. Like they don't think about that option. But what it comes down to most of these times in these matchups, it comes down to neutral. Neutral against all of these characters is very easy with Palutena. All these characters are typically pretty slow, or like they're characters that need to take time to set shit up. You know, Banjo with his grenade and stuff like that. Sure, it's not like a large amount of time to get a grenade out and like catch it and stuff, but nonetheless, like doing that against either like auto reticle or just like me running up and knowing that you're gonna do it and stuff like that, it's very easy to punish you and put you in an uncomfortable position. Yeah, the same thing goes for like Isabelle. For Ice Climbers, that's always like a weird character for people. Like a lot of people don't really know what the fuck they're talking about with Ice Climbers, because they're like, I never fought Ice Climbers before or anything like that. Let me get straight to the point. Ice Climbers are fucking ass. They have some niche matchups, or like, you know, something like, you know, I'll let the Fox players like get this, you know, even though they suck. But you know, Ice Climbers does decent against them, and like even like Peach potentially and stuff like that, or like, you know, can fight against them. But generally speaking, Ice Climbers does have, or they do have a rough time versus a lot of characters, because things go south very easily, especially in a mashy game like this. Keeping track of like your AI, making sure like they don't die from like one mistake, or like, you know, some buffer issue and shit like that that accidentally happens in the middle of the match, and then you just lose the Ice Climber and then they get fucked up. But for Palutena's sake, it is very consistent to separate the two. Nair just absolutely fucks them up. And one thing too is that Ice Climbers, they're a character that, you know, with desyncs and all this shit, they're characters that press a lot of attacks, a lot of special moves to get the desyncs going and shit like that. So like a blizzard into a side B or something to desync. Me as the Palutena on the other side of the screen that's seeing the desync happen, all I need to do is just explosive flame. You guys have different end lags, so even if whoever is doing the side B manages to shield, the person who is doing blizzard is going to get hit by the explosive flame, and now you guys are going to be a little separated, and now it's going to be a little like, you know, dysfunctional in terms of like trying to get back into a fighting position. And you know, my up air also just is really good against like any of your landing options as well. It's just very easy to separate the two, and also it's easy to like Palutena could go pretty far off stage with attacks and stuff like that, and more often than not Ice Climbers will press an attack. And obviously I have back air. Back air just is a god tier move, obviously does a lot of heavy lifting for Palutena. Also has the ability to warp past like, you know, any of the potential Ice Climber ledge traps. Some of the other characters, Zelda, like Duck Hunt, Piranha Plant and stuff like that, they're very slow setup characters. Zelda, less of a setup character than the other two, but you know, she has a Phantom that she usually like charges up, but Auto Reticle is really good at making them not be lazy with that, you know, because like obviously if you Auto Reticle from across the screen, well, close enough, if they charge Phantom, they're gonna have to let go of it immediately, or they're just gonna get hit. Like, you know, if the Phantom didn't build up enough to like block the hit to Auto Reticle, and that's completely fine with me because I could just press Auto Reticle again, and you know, have to make them actually feel like they have to be more up close to me and fight. So, and Zelda obviously not the best. Ike, he could do some work. The only issue with Ike, or well, not only issue, but one of the biggest issues with Ike is that he's a very aerial heavy guy, and Palu is also a very aerial heavy character. So the best things that Ike can get is obviously from Nair, but like if you're trying to be in the air close enough to hit Palutena, if you're Nair, to get like a potential Nair up air, or like, you know, try to like follow their landing and stuff like that, that means you're in Palutena's range to potentially get hit by a back air. Like I could call out the Nair hitbox with my back air, or I can just straight up just run up to you and just Nair you myself, and it makes it very easy. Ike is super combo food. You know, the thing is, Ike has to delay his Nair every time if he wants to get a combo. He could do a short hop rising Nair, but if he does a short hop rising Nair, then he's not gonna get a combo. So I know there's gonna be a delay in between him short hopping and then landing. So that's the time where Palutena can easily get a Nair and get stuff started. Of course, you can play around it a little bit. It's not like just as straightforward as you jump and I win, but you have to commit way harder than I do as like Palutena versus the Ike, you know. Dr. Mario, he's literally slow Mario, you know. There's not really much to say about it. Like, you know, I'll talk more about like why Mario does better, and like the reasons why Mario does better is simply because he's a bit faster than Dr. Mario, has an easier time landing combos on Palutena, because, you know, Mario has literally the most free auto combo shit in the entirety of Smash. But you know, if a Palutena decides to camp a Dr. Mario, even if you're like getting some parries on like stale attacks, Dr. Mario is so slow that he can't actually still punish most of these things, and that sucks. +2 Wii Fit, crouch low profiles her entire moveset. Well, it doesn't low profile down tilt or down air, but the thing is, Wii Fit sucks on the ground. Wii Fit can crouch, but Wii Fit will jump and remove or like release the crouch eventually. Like, they have to press something first, and when they do press something first, they're going to lose, because Wii Fit's hitboxes are fucking atrocious. They're ass. You got to remember that Wii Fit is the one that has to actually do stuff and force things to happen. You can just chill. You're faster than Wii Fit. If Wii Fit tries to do something from afar, you have auto reticle. If she tries to deep breathing, you have auto reticle. And all this shit, her recovery is very ass and very linear. And the best things that Wii Fit gets, like the scary things that Wii Fit gets, is typically Wii Fit in the air. Wii Fit in the air is pretty much almost always losing to a Palu hitbox if they try to contest it. They have to perfectly space it, or they have to press the move before I even jump up. And that means I'm jumping up into the move. You know that shit like Wii Fits do near the ledge? Like they drop off the ledge and then side B, like literally run up, or like, well, not run up, but like you can just do explosive flame and you will nullify that. At best, the only thing they'll do is preemptively roll if you just are too trigger happy on it, but you don't have to be trigger happy on it. It's very like, you know, telegraphed on when they're gonna go for it. But yeah, I might put some characters in +2 later on as I like think about it, but I think these are for sure +2s. Oh, I guess I didn't. All right, well, let me. I mean, this shit might be +3, honestly. Fuck. But I mean, I'll put it here right now. It's bad. It'd probably be +3, honestly. It is a really free matchup. Yet I still got mad money for that matchup back in the day. All right, +1. I think Palu can be solo viable. The problem is, like, what you're currently looking at looks strong. The problem is these aren't the characters that matter to do good against or to beat. Like, it starts getting shaky, unfortunately, against the wrong characters. Like, let's use Fox for example. Fox does good against many of the best characters, and then he has like some weird shit with ice climbers or like Luigi or some shit, right? That is probably better to have than Palu shitting on many bad characters, and then the actual characters that you're gonna commonly run into get demolished by them or like struggle against them. You know, it's better to have that kind of matchup chart than this. I never personally had a problem with Diddy Kong, but my item control and like item play is like a step above a majority of players. So that's really massive versus Diddy Kong as a whole. So I think people can get better at that for sure. But I can agree with like Diddy Kong winning. Our matchup ratio is just a % win rate bonus between two equal players. Yeah, the way I think of matchups is, and like the matchup chart as a whole too, I guess you could, editors, you could put this in obviously too, but like it's very easy for me and other players to digest and see a matchup chart as simple as this. Always assume the character versus whatever character that you're making a matchup for is of equal level, like equal skill, equal matchup knowledge. They know the ins and outs, all that stuff, like what your character is good against my character and what my character can do that's really good against your character. And think of it in a simple like ratio like this, where it's like 100 or 10, like, because some people say a matchup is 6-4 or 60-40. Just, you could either or is fine, but just think about it like if those players played 10 games, the Palu should be winning 6 matches or 7 matches, depends on the number. So +2 would be 2 more, so Palutena should be winning 70% of the matches, or 7%, or like 7 out of 10 matches. I feel like it gets a little weird when people use +5 or not +5, +0.5 or -0.5, because that, I mean, you could still use that in a like 65-35 like ratio and stuff like that, but I usually use like 6-4, 7-3, 8-2, shit like that. So the 0.5 doesn't register in my head because that's like half a game in a sense. But whenever I look at a matchup chart, whenever people have +5 or +0.5, I just, in my head, I see it as +1, For now, I think this is where I'm gonna keep +1 at. For editors as well, I may adjust the list at the end, and if I do, I will like say what adjustments I make and stuff like that, so people don't get confused, like if they watch like the first part of the video and then the end is like, oh, what the heck is this? But anyways, let me categorize as a +1. There are some characters there that probably look obvious, and there are some characters, this is not in order like I said, so like don't think like Mewtwo is the easiest one or closest one to even and DK is closer to +2. They're all +1. Ridley's always a contender for +2 in so many people's matchup charts, but Ridley has some really fucked up hitboxes. He can actively like contest a lot of my shit. Like back air might be like obviously like really good or like very effective against Ridley, but a lot of his moves have very good range. Very fucking good range. It's been a meme basically for some time that Ridley is a like sword character in disguise. 100% agree with that. The way you use his tilts and everything, you're literally playing a sword character. The matchup actually would not be bad if Ridley was just like a tad bit like tinier, or yeah, actually probably if he was just a tad bit tinier, because my throw combos work almost as effective as if I'm hitting DDD or King K. Rool with like a down throw back air, but Ridley doesn't have the weight like King K. Rool and King DDD have to survive those for so long. So that's his problem. And then obviously, you know, his recovery is also very linear, and you know, you can actually use Palutena's counter for it because it's very strong when you counter Ridley's up B for whatever reason. That shit does like 19%, but when you counter that shit, it's like you're countering a home run bat. Ridley being a big body character, that's his downfall in this matchup. Even when it comes to like shield poking him with stuff like Nair and stuff like that, it happens pretty often because of how, you know, his model is and stuff. But Ridley does have some pretty decent ledge trapping because of how disjointed some of his shit is, like tipper forward tilt. It's very good. And if I roll or try to teleport through people, the Ridley has enough time to react because forward tilt doesn't have much end lag. Same for down tilt, doesn't have much end lag. I would suggest going for forward tilts more so than down tilt, because if you down tilt Palutena, she can just mix up her recovery. But if you go for forward tilts and I teleport through you, your instant dash attack or like your dash attack covers good range. But also if you do a max space forward tilt, Palutena will teleport pretty close to you, to the point where if you can even go for like a grab if you want. You definitely should go for like a dash attack. A dash attack is a kill move, and it also does the same thing, knocking them back off stage, and then you can repeat the scenario. Ridley's up tilt is very good at covering Palutena's landing options. Like if the most common option for Palutena to land with is Nair, your up tilt beats that shit so easily because up tilt is pretty disjointed. So you could create a level of annoyance for Palutena to do what the fuck she normally does against some of the +2s like effortlessly and shit like that. With all that being said, Palutena definitely still wins the matchup. You know, Ridley still has to do some outplaying in this matchup. It's just that he's not as bad as those characters up above. Denki might be +2. I might be I'll be honest, this might be biased because I loved the DK versus Palutena matchup. It is easy as fuck for me, but like that's probably because how well I'm at, how good I am at like exploiting like the bad stuff about Palutena, or like, you know, getting like consistent 2 frames and shit like that when possible, and all of that mumbo jumbo, right? So in my head, when I think of the matchup, I'm just thinking like, oh fuck, I'm just demolishing that person and stuff like that, you know? Honestly, it very likely is a +2, and I probably will change it to +2 because there are some pretty bad stuff. Ledge trapping DK is effortless. 2 framing him is effortless. Down throw back air works. You know what? Goodbye DK. I'm sorry. Maybe my DK is there, but like, you definitely have to like be on point a pretty good amount. Like I'm comparing it to like Ridley, and like it's a bit different, you know, or like there's some differences there. I'm sorry, Danky, maybe on Monday, but today is Wednesday. This one might come as a surprise to some people. Little Mac. Mac does suck, but the thing is, Palutena is a jumper. She jumps a lot, and Little Mac, I've been talking about this recently actually on my stream, but one thing Little Mac does have, that like I swear that move is broken as fuck. His up tilt hitbox, I need to look at that shit. There's definitely some crazy shit inside of his gloves. I swear that shit be beating moves clean, bro, like clean. Little Mac's annoying, but I mean it's still a winning matchup for Palu 100%. But like there's just like these little annoying things. And also one thing that's really annoying is that Little Mac, the way he runs around the stage, and you'll see that this is going to be a common trend for some other characters that are just straight up better than Little Mac, which is why they're not in this category. But there's characters, when they run around the stage, they're like, this is the ground and this is them running. They don't run like this. They run like this. And Little Mac is one of those characters. So when you do like short hop aerials, you have to delay your aerials so hard to like actually hit him with attacks. Or like if you do short hop rising Nair, you're gonna miss almost all the hits, if not all of them, because of how low profile his dash is. And that also creates more whiff punish capabilities for the Little Mac himself. He can run under your Nair, throw out an up smash, and then you get 2 hits of your Nair, but then you get hit by the up smash afterwards, which is definitely a much better trade for the Little Mac, or Little Mac wins that exchange for sure. Obviously though, when you actually hit Little Mac and send him in the air, he's kind of free, or like, you know, your up air is really good against anything Little Mac has. All he has is air dodge and pray or counter, but you know, he still has to land. The counter is not going to hit Palutena doing an up air from below, because the counter is going to go this way. He's still going to be in a bad spot. And then obviously edge guarding him is not difficult at all and shit like that. So obviously that's going to make it free for Palutena, or like a really big plus in the matchup. What it comes down to is Little Mac is annoying in the neutral, but not annoying enough that like if you get hit by something, it leads to a kill at like 60. Unless obviously, you know, KO punch, not really much of a factor. It is something to consider, but you know, that's not like the real neutral. The neutral is everything else. So like 90% of the match, you're not gonna worry about KO punch or anything of this sort. Low-key Bowser might be a +2 as well. He does have really good 2 frames, like 2 frame down tilt or 2 frame like flame breath, shit ton of damage. He has a good up B out of shield. However, he is ultra combo food, gets juggled to oblivion. My up air beats his down air. 2 framing him is easy. Down throw back air works to infinity against him. I know what I just listed was basically what I listed for DK, but you know, him having access to an up B out of shield is something that DK does not. Well, I guess he does have like that aerial up B shit that somebody told me about recently. Like DK started doing like jump up B instead of up being out of shield. They jump out of the shield first and then up B. But I don't know. I feel like position wise and stuff, obviously landing an up B out of shield with Bowser is easier. And like, you know, you can position yourself for like whatever comes after better with Bowser than DK. Oh wait, here's one that like some people think is even, but it's not. Kirby. Kirby's not an even matchup, bro, I'm telling you. And it's funny, I've been saying that Palu wins this matchup since literally the dawn of time. And one of the biggest things back then that people said, and it completely slipped my mind at the time, but like they were like, you're only saying this because you're judging it off of Elite Smash Kirby's and not like top player Kirby's. Granted, there was barely any, but I completely forgot that back then I did fight a top Kirby. I fought Komoda at I forget what event. It was a Midwest event, but it wasn't streamed. But he was in my pool, and it was a round robin pool, and I did fight him. And yeah, I mean, I guess you could say like, yeah, I'm a better player, so I was still in favor of winning, but like, it was like, the matchup is not hard. What matters the most is obviously the first stock, but like if you have a good lead or even a stock lead, Kirby is so free. Holy crap, he's so free because he can't just sit there crouching. He has to jump, he has to do attacks that aren't down tilt, because I'm not gonna be in that down tilt range. Like, yes, there are some things Kirby does that's not bad, which is why it's not a +2 matchup. Is like, you know, he actually has some options that he can do. But the issue is that Kirby's disadvantage is really bad. Terrible airspeed. Like, he could try to cover himself with hitboxes, but Palutena's facing the other way, bro. You got back here to deal with. You can't just throw out buttons like that, like to cover your like surrounding and stuff like that. If you throw out forward airs mindlessly, you're getting back here, and then that's GG at that point, you know? I think what it is, a lot of Palutena players, they don't edge guard. They don't go off stage to close out stocks. They go for a lot of down tilt 2 frames on the characters that you don't need to 2 frame. You can just go out there and beat their ass, including even some of these matchups that are like even or like -1. Like, you know, that's something Palutena can still do against some of these characters, but they don't. So what you're doing is missing out on guaranteed kills or making the matchup easier for the other person, which makes them think the matchup isn't as bad because you're not doing the right things in the matchup, or you're not doing everything that you could in these matchups. I wouldn't say Kirby is -2 because he does have like some decent stuff, like his down air lingers for a long while. So if you ever do have to recover under the ledge, you should be getting hit by down air. Like, it lingers for so long that like it's very generous of a timing to land, and if you get hit by that shit, you're usually gonna die. If you get hit by like a stray up air or a stray back air at mid%, it's literally nothing. Like, you're not gonna get hit by any of those into a true combo F smash, true combo down B is just a hit, and typically you're in an okay spot to like, you know, you don't have to panic and shit like that. There's some characters you get hit by something in midair, oh shit, it's time to go for a ride, you know, or like, oh, that's the end of my stock. But Kirby doesn't have anything like that, so you know, getting hit by Kirby isn't too bad typically. I think some people also think Meta Knight is hard, or like even or potentially losing, because he's like a small character. I feel like that's probably the only real reason why they think that the matchup is hard, but like that it isn't that simple. One, while Meta Knight is small, he doesn't have the luxury of crouching like how Kirby, Pikachu, Wii Fit, and some of these other characters that have crawls or like crouches do. When Meta Knight crouches, his shoulder pads literally go from here to here, and that's it. He is still in the same height as he was basically when he was just standing. It's not the same as fighting Kirby and shit like that, you know? Meta Knight's combo game is pretty good on Palutena. She is one of the easier characters to combo because like tall character, perfect like height and weight to combo. I think one thing that makes people really think Meta Knight has an edge or like is like really good is that his Nair is really good at two framing because it lingers a good while and it has decent knockback and shit like that. So people assume like once you're off stage against Meta Knight, you're pretty much dead. Definitely not as free as it should be. While those things are positives for Meta Knight, the thing is Meta Knight's flaws as a character do show when fighting against Palutena as well, like it does against other characters, where if you don't give me at 0%, like if you get that one dash attack and I survive and I'm at like 60% or some shit like that, the matchup becomes very annoying for Meta Knight because now you're getting a lot of 1-2 hits at best. But the thing is, like I said, he's a ball-shaped character, so hitting him with like nairs or hitting him with moves, not too hard or not too difficult to actually hit him. But if you fight near the ledge or like if you get hit by like a dash attack, but like you're fighting near the ledge, the dash attack will not true combo unless you get hit with the sour spot. But at the same time, if you get grabbed near the ledge versus Meta Knight at those mid percents, he will not be able to combo you unless you DI in, which I don't know why the fuck you would. That's not playing the matchup correctly, but we're assuming you are playing the matchup correctly here. There's like a level of annoyance to closing out stocks with Meta Knight. It feels like you kind of have to press shit and pray in a sense. Like as the Palutena, it just like I can see the desperation coming out at times, you know, where they're throwing out random F smashes or random down B slashes, or like if I'm at like 120, they're gonna run up and up smash or some shit. Or if I try to do like pressure their shield with an unsafe move, they'll up B out of shield. You know, those will start coming out a lot more because they know that it's gonna start becoming very annoying to close out the stock. So they're gonna get a lot more desperate, and Palutena loves fighting against shit like that because obviously, you know, her back air is very good at calling out desperate options like that. You know, oh, you're throwing out moves back here. You're throwing out moves back here. Oh, now you're selling up because my back air is fucking you up. Now you're gonna shield. I'm gonna go for grabs and all this type of shit, right? Meta Knight does have multiple jumps, so when it comes to landing on the stage, you know, he does have some mix-up options. But if he doesn't have, well, he has mix-up options, but none of his aerial moves can beat out my up air. If he tries to land with a down air, up air beats it. If he tries to land with falling forward air or falling nair, up air beats it and stuff like that. So he does have somewhat of a weird time getting back on stage or on the ground comfortably. Sometimes he could down beat through you, but if you call it out, you can like still land and dash attack, pop him back up, rinse and repeat. And then one thing that's also bad for Meta Knight is that Meta Knight is a light character. He's lighter than Palutena. He's one of the lighter characters in the entire cast. So if you do land like a straight up air in the middle of the air, if he's like using multiple jumps, he will die to that up air at like 75% or some shit like that, you know? A percent that he doesn't want. So you can kind of play around that. They know they're going to die at 75%, so they're going to play a lot more scared and, you know, have to respect Palutena in those scenarios as well. And Palutena has enough speed to follow him, even if he does dimensional cape, so on and so forth. So there's some good stuff that Palutena has in the matchup. Overall, I think it's easier for Palu to play the neutral, and her advantage state is also still really good against Meta Knight. Overall, let me give an overview for +1. +1, those are the characters that I can't make as many mistakes as I can against the +2 characters. Some of them have actual really, like, you know, brutal stuff. Like Ken has really good combo game, you know, a really good combo game. Or like Falco has a really good combo game. Luigi obviously is Luigi. Kazuya, is Kazuya. You know, both of those characters are like the same basically. But the thing is, neutral against those characters and disadvantage, their disadvantages of all those characters that I just listed are pretty ass and like very good for Palutena to like keep in disadvantage. Luigi, easy to keep him disadvantage. Two frame down tilt. If you two frame down tilt him into like back air, I mean 99% of the time when you two frame a Luigi, they're just gonna literally mash down B. It's so obvious, but you can play around that. You can literally just charge up smash from the spot that you two frame, and then they just down B into it. You can just like call it out. You can punish them. It's very easy. But like, you know, it's a spot that the Luigi is gonna be panicking very easily, and that's the key thing. Neutral is easy against Luigi. You know what he's looking for. He's always looking for the same shit. He does have some aerials that you do have to watch out for because they could lead into some nasty stuff. But his airspeed is not good. It's hard to catch Palutena. You don't want to use much projectiles. Same for Kazuya as well. You want to kind of keep the projectile game to a minimum, because if you do mess up and they do read that you're going for an explosive flame and they just run up to you, they start to speed up, then you're going to get fucked up, because now you're caught in a heavy end lag move, and they're going to do what they do best, combo the shit out of you and kill you off of a grab, or do massive amounts of damage, which isn't good, obviously. So you want to keep projectile play to a minimum against those characters specifically, and, you know, play more like aerial heavy, maybe even like some down tilts, because, you know, they do want to run up and grab. Or in Kazuya's stake, you know, he wants to go for electrics, but, you know, if you down tilt and he electrics, you're gonna avoid the down, or you're gonna avoid the electric because you're crouching, but you're also putting a lingering hitbox where he's throwing out the intangible move, but then when the intangibility runs out, he gets hit by the down tilt. And then you can get stuff started. Actually, I guess maybe one that might be surprising to people is mid. I feel like the Cloud Palutena matchup is pretty straightforward. Like, for me personally, I think I'm very good against Cloud, and also like punishing like his like faults, or like, you know, really hard, like suffocating him in those moments where like he needs the other person to fuck up, or like to over respect them and stuff like that. I'm very good at knowing when those times are. Cloud and Palu play very similar in some moments, like the instant dash attacks, the short hop delay back airs, the short hop delay forward airs. Obviously it's not one-to-one. Like, Cloud does have access to up B out of shield, Palu doesn't. My down tilt, 2 frames easier than Cloud's, and also can combo into stuff. Cloud's down tilt can't 2 frame, but it doesn't combo into anything. And then yeah, but I think, like, you know, the biggest comparisons are definitely like the short hop delay aerials and stuff like that. They play very, very identical in those aspects. Since Cloud does a lot of delayed aerials, I do have access to one move that I don't need to delay, which is Nair. I don't have to delay my Nair. Cloud does have to delay like some of his shit if he goes in mid-air. He's not gonna just throw short hop rising forward air, because now that forward air becomes very unsafe, because the move ends higher up in the air. By the time he lands, I'm able to punish, or like, you know, I'm able to act out of shield and stuff. So me knowing that, if I see that, you know, the Cloud is a very jump happy Cloud, I know that they're going to start doing stuff. Granted, they could mix it up with a potential like short hop into side B and catch my jump with it, so that's something to watch out for as a Palu player. But generally speaking, they do not go for those cross slashes that often. But even then, if you do call out that they do go for a cross slash, you could go for an instant dash attack. If you go for an instant dash attack, now Cloud is in the air, you get to juggle him, or like potentially juggle him. It's a pretty bad spot. If you do want to juggle Cloud, juggle him from the sides. Do not juggle him from directly under. You will get hit by down air if they go for down air. It has a really good hitbox on it, but you can also bait it out, make it look like you're jumping forward or like directly under him, and then like jump, use your double jump, or like, you know, maybe short hop, fast fall, and then like, you know, try to hit him from the side. And if you hit him from the side, potentially throw him off stage with that, and the rest is history. Y'all already seen it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like y'all have heard me say all the stuff about Cloud. I just feel like he has to work just a tad bit more than Palutena does in the matchup. Me Brawler might be even. That's one of the ones I wasn't sure about. He might be even. I'm gonna keep him right here just so I don't forget. Same for Marv. These two might be even. But yeah, these characters, a lot of these characters in +1, they have more options than the +2 category against Palutena, but they also have way more like harder to deal with setups and stuff, but not hard enough that it makes the matchup like even or potentially losing. So like Pac-Man, for example, big setup character, but like Palutena doesn't need to like respect the setups as much. I can explosive flame through fire hydrants and shit like that to make him not charge like any fruit or any like bell and stuff like that, or like make it a little bit harder for him to do. If he jumps up in midair to like charge up, now he has to land somewhere, especially if the hydrant's already in place. None of Pac-Man's moves can beat out my up air. And you know, that can create a bit of an annoying time because now Pac-Man has to land with no jump potentially, or I mean, obviously he has access to hydrant once it despawns and stuff, but like it's pretty telegraphed when they want to go for hydrants, and it also goes in a straight line down, so it's pretty easy to play around and hit. Low key, Ness might be a low key +2. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say it's not a +2 just because of how easy it is to 2-frame Palutena with Ness. That down smash is broken. Down smash and up smash are so free. The thing is, Ness has to play a lot slower and has to change up his gameplay a good amount, because one thing Ness players love doing, they love surrounding themselves with hitboxes, but you can't do that against Palutena because I have dash attack and back air. So if they're just like spamming down Bs and nairs and forward airs and shit like that, even though I'm not near them like they do against other characters, I literally just dash attack through that, or I back air, and now they have to play so much slower, and they don't know how to do that shit. They don't know how to do that shit. They're not used to it. There's not much characters that can force Ness to play so like shelled up or like, you know, less mashy like he would in against like 95% of the cast. And now that they're playing slow down, neutral is just so much easier for me, because now I know they're like severely over respecting me because they have to do that. You know, just because it's my character. Sephiroth is a tall character. He gets shield poke very easily, and Palutena has a really good shield poke move, that being Nair, one of her main moves, and that's very, very like huge in the matchup. But auto reticle is also really good against Sephiroths, or lazy Sephiroths especially. If you can force Sephiroth to Octaslash or feel the need that he has to Octaslash, and you time your neutral beat with Octaslash, it's basically a guaranteed stock, unless A, he gets his wing, or he still has his jump to like, you know, add another like layer of mix up afterwards. But if he has no jump, or he has no wing for an extra jump, or you took his wing jump and everything, and he's forced to Octaslash, if you time it at the same time that he presses up B for the Octaslash, he will not make it back. Like guaranteed, it's a guaranteed stop. Sephiroth does have short hop forward air, almost instant short hop forward air instead of short hop delay forward air, which is helpful in the matchup for him. And the wing definitely helps a lot versus Palutena, like to the point where it might be even, or like he definitely can fight Palutena better. The problem is Palutena typically doesn't have to do much work to kill him after he gets the wing. Sometimes if you even have an opportunity. Obviously you can get hit by like a sweet spot smash attack around the time that you get a wing and die. Like sweet spot forward smash is probably gonna kill Sephiroth at like 65% if you catch like a normal get up, or like, you know, or charge down smash on a roll will kill him at like 80. Up smash, don't really gotta say much about that. If you just normal get up into an up smash, you're dying at 80+%. And sometimes you could potentially gimp Sephiroth before he even gets the wing. You know, gimping Sephiroth as opposed to Sephiroth gimping Palutena happens more often. It's kind of similar to like what I said about Cloud, but Sephiroth's neutral is a lot slower than Cloud's and stuff like that. So like neutral is a little bit easier to catch him off guard, or like, you know, if he's going for a back air, short hop back air spam, you know, I could just run up there and be like, what's up, bitch, dash attack. And then now Sephiroth's in the air, he has to hold his jump, respect me and stuff like that. You know, Ike actually bodies Palu. Never in this entire game's lifespan has that been an actual thing. But anyway, moving on to the even category. It's pretty straightforward what even means. My character's tools, your character's tools, we can both basically fuck each other up and have a hard time in certain spots, but like, you know, collectively, like, oh, Terry at disadvantage, or like Zero Suit at disadvantage, or getting comboed and stuff like that could feel pretty rough for Zero Suit with as Palutena. When you're in disadvantage against Zero Suit as Palutena, it can feel annoying, or like just as annoying and stuff like that, you know? I was about to say, these are characters that don't really rob your stock, and I had to look at it again, but there's some characters here that rob stocks, that is for sure. So starting from like a little bit of these characters, not all of them, but starting from this point forward, there's going to be a trend where either A, characters dash in a very annoying way, or they have really quick like initial dashes, or they're really godlike at whiff punishing. But yeah, to like really like boil it down, Young Link and Toon Link, they play differently. Their goal though is relatively the same though. They just get there in like slightly different paths. They're pretty projectile heavy. They don't have the most range. They have well, Young Link and Toon Link up air are broken. Those are broken up airs. But relatively speaking, they're not easy, or they're not so difficult to like close the gap against. Palutena has decent ground speed and air speed to play around the projectiles really easily, but they also don't have like crazy ass hitboxes for you to like have a hard time to actually close the gap and actually be able to fight them like some characters may have. Like, you know, like, I mean, Pac-Man's a +1 here, but like, you know, Pac-Man versus some other characters, they can finally get through. Oh, actually, there's a character, Rob. We haven't placed him yet, but you know, Rob's a character you get through the grenades, or not grenades, the gyros and the laser, and then you finally have to fight Rob, and then his down tilt beats everything you do. So, you know, there's some characters like that where it's like, thanks for playing the game, you finally made it to me, now actually fight me, and fighting them is a bitch. Young Link and Toon Link, even though Young Link is the OG choose to lose, you know, he do got some things he has to watch out for in this matchup. But both these characters, like Palu versus Young Link, like they can really demolish each other off of one straight hit. If you get hit by a grab by Young Link at 0%, you might be getting hit by like down throw, back air into Nair, into like a potential tech chase, or not tech chase, but like, you know, you don't know if you're gonna have to block a down tilt, or if you do block, if he grabs again and you get down throw up air, now you're at 60%, because that character shits out damage. She is good at juggling Young Link if he is high up above. Her up air is very, very good. People talk about it, but you know, they mainly focus on like her back air and like her nair a lot, but her up air is also just not okay of a move. It is a kill move, it has a good amount of disjoint, and a lot of people like pressing buttons on their landing. So I see some people in my chat mention Terry. I do think Terry does better than Kazuya. I do believe that Terry's disadvantage is not good, and thank God it's not good, because that character is not okay. No pun intended. Terry is really fucking annoying. The thing is, what makes Terry more annoying than Kazuya overall is that he's just faster. I feel like when I fight against Kazuya, I can control the pace very easily because he's stubby as fuck. Even if he's doing like crouch dash cancels all over the place and shit, I know he's only limited to these spots on the ground. Maybe a short hop up air will come out, but oh man, getting hit by an up air, like, I'll take that. It's Kazuya, you know, I'll take getting hit by them shits. Terry though, his dash back and dash forward is so fucking annoying, usually because he always does dash back down tilt or dash in down tilt, so he's also crouching as well. So sometimes you might miss a move because he down tilts and he misses. But also Terry's auto turnaround is much better than Kazuya's as well. Terry is not like Sonic speed or anything like that, but for what he does, he is fast enough that it's annoying for Palutena sometimes to land. Crack shoot is not okay as well. Like, it is just really good. The hitbox on it beats out, I swear it beats out like everything. Like, if you time it right, there's not a move that it can't beat. Even if it looks hopeless, outside of counters obviously. But Crack shoot is really good at catching like whiff punishing. I feel like Terry's should do that more, because obviously they want like big combos and stuff, but like they honestly should catch people's landings with a whiff punish crack shoot, like dash back crack shoot. Like, I feel like it's a lot easier, or like you'll be surprised how often it actually works, because while the person's throwing a move, while landing, you're like, hey man, what's up? Like, you like hop over where their hitbox typically is like at. So like, say like Wolf, for example, loves doing like falling nair. You just, a Wolf falling nairs, and you just hop over the nair and you hit him for like, the last hit of crack shoot is like fucking 15% or some shit like that. That's solid. And also now you have ground control again and shit like that, you know? So that's something they should do more, and it is effective against Palu in my opinion. Palutena does do a decent job, or good job, at keeping Terry in disadvantage, and that is like one of the good things. Like, you know, that potentially makes this matchup in Palutena's favor as well. If somebody were to say Palu beats Terry +1, I wouldn't like be like, you know, you're dumb for that, or anything like that. You know, I would respect it, but I do have really high regards for Terry. The Fire Emblem characters, you could kind of group them up together. These guys, well, okay, they all have different like characteristics, but I'm just grouping them up because, like, they're all Fire Emblem. But to put it quickly, Corrin's ledge trap and like pressure is insanely good. Like I feel like I don't even have to talk about it. Her nair and her up air are really fucking good. They linger long enough that it makes the most free tech chases possible on platforms, and to like further combo potential and all this stuff. And it hurts. Like, it hurts. If you're fighting a good Corrin, it fucking hurts. You're gonna take a lot of percent. That back air is really good. It's disjointed as fuck, and it beats everything I do off of the ledge. Like, that isn't like a defensive option. If I do drop off, rising forward air, rising nair, I guess if I do rising counter, it depends, because if you rise and counter too fast, she actually eats her double jump and goes back down. So, you know, you have to delay it a little bit. But regardless, back air is insanely good. If you jump and you get hit by that, you're basically, you might as well kiss your stock goodbye, because the angle that it sends you is really bad and nasty. Percent dependent, obviously. If you get hit by a back air at 30%, you're gonna be fine. But if you get hit by a back air at 70% and you burn your jump, you actually might die. But one thing though is that Corrin is pretty easy to combo. I would say Corrin's also not bad to juggle. And then back air shits on Corrin's recovery. If you can force Corrin to recover in a way that like Palutena could position herself to like back air around the ledge area, it's usually an auto stock. And also, of course, you have access to counter. I would not recommend going for counter unless the Corrin is at like maybe like 80+%, because the counter is relatively weak. So you know, you got to make sure the percent is high enough that it actually does make a difference. But because if you counter at 50, Corrin's is literally gonna be like, that's a tickle, come up, be back to the ledge, and now you're in a bad spot because the Corrin got back to ledge first before you, which shouldn't happen when you land the counter. That's just how it is with Palutena. Her counter is one of the weakest in knockback. Chrom doesn't do bad against Palutena. Like, yes, the recovery could be like a fault for Chrom, but something that's huge is neutral. And this is like what I said earlier about the characters dashing and shit like that. Chrom's dash is incredible. He's really fast in the air, or well, maybe not fast in the air, but definitely on the ground. He's very fast. His frame data is just excellent. He does have an up B out of shield that for some reason people, I feel like, have never labbed to know, like, oh, if you hit my shield with this 100%, you get hit by up B and stuff. It feels like they did that early on in Ultimate and then just dropped the idea, but it does work. You can up B out of shield when, you know, you get hit by certain moves and stuff, especially stale moves. Not even just against Palu, but against the cast. But you know, that shit does like 25%. That's really good damage. But the main thing is that Chrom's ledge trap is obviously really fucking good. Palutena is a jumping out of ledge character. Like, more often than not, she will jump off the ledge because, you know, she's able to complete her aerials. There are some characters who jump off a ledge and they can't complete their aerials. She is one of those characters that she could complete the aerial and still have like no lag on landing. But for that reason, it's kind of like a bad thing because it makes it predictable that she's going to jump off the ledge. So, you know, Palutena's need to get a little less lazy on the recovery, including myself, or disadvantage, including myself at times, depending on the matchup. He's fast enough to still make you feel like you're in a bad spot, or you will be in a bad spot. Like one or the other. And that's the thing. Like, when it comes to these fast ground characters, mentioned it with Little Mac. He is fast. It's just that Little Mac's like air game is non-existent, and like his recovery is like ultra free and shit like that. Yes, Chrom's recovery can be free, different ways of free than Little Mac, but you know, ground game is also excellent, but his on stage or mid-air pressure can also be scary as well. Like, you know, his up air is very quick, no sour spot, the percent will rack up. It combos into like falling up air, combos into back air, you know, for a while. Like, you know, it gets stuff started, so, you know, you have to watch out for it. So yeah, that's why I put him at even. It might be potentially +1, but I do have faith in Chrom as a character, and I feel like people need to push him a little bit more. And then Byleth, Leo, by the way. I mean, Byleth is one of those characters that, like, He's really good at whiff punishing. His Nair is really good. His Nair is better than Palu's. I'ma just be honest. Like I know a lot of people still on that Palu's Nair is the best Nair in the game because of December 2018 to like, you know, like the first year or two of Ultimate, but like, nah. Byleth's Nair is better than Palutena's Nair, 100%. Like Byleth's attacks are just really good against, or like solid, not like really good, but they're solid against what Palu does, you know? Like he's good at whiff punishing Palutena with like retreating down tilt. Retreating reverse down tilt is hella good against Palu because you can whiff punish Palutena forward air with a spaced down tilt. And more often than not, when you hit that person with a down tilt, they'll pop straight up or into you because they're literally pressing forward air forward towards you. So more often than not, like down tilt up air will work in that moment against the Byleths. Or down tilt up air will work good for the Byleth because of that. You know, you're catching someone holding in 99% of the time. So down tilt up air is obviously a very consistent combo in general, but it just makes it that much easier to land when you catch them holding in. Gimping Byleth, it is possible to gimp Byleth with Palu, but she definitely isn't like one of the characters that does it for free, you know? He can definitely recover really low and like not really worry about getting hit by a Nair, or like recover low enough that even if you do fall down and hit him with a Nair, like the spot that he gets hit sent towards with that Nair, he would just up B immediately and grab the ledge, you know? So ledge trapping him, you can ledge trap him. Like I did record Rafflo versus Leo, but Leo played that matchup very incorrect. Like he was doing a lot of like re-grabs without even throwing out attacks and shit. I don't know what the fuck was happening in that set, but it enabled Rafflo to get a lot of down two frame, not even two frames. This is a ledge re-grab down tilt back air, and he fucked up Leo for it and stuff like that. But normally that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, I don't know. And then when it comes to Byleth's back air and forward air, I will never get hyped. Well, okay, maybe I've gotten hyped before, but no longer will I be impressed by any Byleth getting a sweet spot back air and sweet spot forward air. I will be more impressed if you manage to actually hit somebody with the sour spot of those moves, because the sour spot of those moves literally do not exist. They do not exist. Those moves are fucking killer, especially back air. Back air is brutal for a character like Palutena's recovery. Like the angle that it sends you. So if you land like a sweet spot back here, like at 80, even if the Palu lives, just the spot that it sends, it makes it really hard to get like that angle where it basically makes Palu's recovery very linear and easy to two frame because of like the direction that it sends. And you can just set up like a ledge grab, drop off, reverse up B, and you will kill the Palu, like just basically guaranteed from that back air. You know, it is a very good back air. And also, like I said, Palutena is a jumper, so she jumps off the ledge very often. And if you catch Palutena jumping off the ledge with a sweet spot back air at like 60%, you're killing her. She's not coming back from that angle and knockback at that percent. Oh no, Shulk's not actually a -2, but I'd say I'd actually probably give Shulk a +1. You know, I'd probably say a +1. Game & Watch before back then was a I would say for sure a winning matchup, but Game & Watch's meta has easily advanced way more than most other characters from the beginning of Ultimate till now, to the point where like shit is brutal. His Nair is better than Palu's. I'm gonna just say it. That stupid ass fish out of the bowl attack is better. In this matchup, you will get hit by Game & Watch Nair more than Palutena will hit Game & Watch with her Nair, because it's disjointed. It's just a little bit more disjointed, and so don't be surprised if you find your Nairs losing, because that's just kind of how it is. I mean, people need to be better at two framing Game & Watch. They always like recover really low, because if Game & Watch up B's near the ledge, he always pops up near the ledge or passes the ledge. So as the Palu or anybody, this is just a general tip, try to go for two frames, I'll speak for Palutena. Two framing Game & Watch down tilt up air or down tilt back air is extremely good. Game & Watch is the second lightest character in the game, so if you manage to catch them with that, especially if they're holding in, they will lose their stock as early as, like for up air, will probably lose their stock at 85%, especially if you have like rage. Down tilt back air, they probably won't die to the back air if they DI in for it, but you know, they'll still be put in a really bad spot to the point where you might be able to just do another down tilt back air and then that one will kill, or down tilt air dodge read, you know, up air or some shit. Or, you know, Game & Watch can't be lazy like he can in other matchups. Like there's matchups where Game Watch deadass could just down air every time onto the ground and he'll still win or like be in a good spot. You can't do that against Palu. Don't be afraid to go for counters on those two. One thing that's also really good in this matchup is that if you bait out a Game & Watch up B out of shield, you can follow him with your jump out of shield into double jump rising up air. And if you do that, you will kill Game & Watch at like 80+%. It makes them be like, oh, I can't up B here because they can just do this and stuff like that. Or they call out my up B, I can die here. So it makes neutral a little bit easier to deal with. There are some really good things that that Palutena has, but obviously Game & Watch's disadvantage on, or like advantage state, is also really strong against Palutena. Like his moves just have so low end lag that even if I try like teleporting to center stage, he could just usually drop a bomb forward there near the ledge, and then I warp past him, and then he just dash attacks the other way. I get sent towards the other side of the stage, and now I'm in a repeat scenario. He shoots out the bacon and all this shit. Like Game & Watch advantage is one of the strongest advantage states in the game. And yeah, that's enough about Game & Watch. Mario, I talked a little bit about it with with Dr. Mario. He's way more combo heavy than Dr. Mario. One thing that's huge in that matchup is that he has access to short hop rising up air. If Mario has access to short hop rising up air, the matchup is not going to be hard. I promise you. Just having that alone adds an extra layer of auto combos that he doesn't have in certain matchups that now he has, and you have to watch out for it. It's so fucking annoying. I hate that shit so much. But Mario has decent speed. Palutena is not the fastest character, neither is Mario. She's just a little bit faster than Mario, so she's able to play around a little bit easier. But Mario's combo game is fucking free on Palutena. And then Snake and Sora and Hero, I talked a little bit about Hero, saying that it might be +1. Snake, I'm really good against Snake, but the matchup probably has been even since the dawn of time, and Snakes have just gotten better since then. But I'll still put it at even. It's hard. Snake is one of the harder characters for me to like really place, because I am one of the best players on this blue trap bubble against Snake. My matchup knowledge is typically very good compared to the Snake having Palutena matchup experience. But you know, if Snake does some correct shit, like more grounded attacks, like dash attack with punish or down tilts to catch Palutena landings and stuff like that, going for 2 frames. I fucking hate when Snakes don't go for the most obvious 2 frames. Sometimes they like try to do like their normal ledge trap with like up smash and shit while the Palutena is recovering low. Snake back air lingers for literally a lifetime. Sora, I'll talk about Sora another time. I'll talk about Sora another time because I want to move on to the -1. And here comes the annoying characters. Here comes the, wow, Palu sucks, really sucks part of the Palutena player base. I was undecided on Olimar, but I'm gonna put him at even. I actually don't think it's that bad. Even pre-patch Palu versus pre-patch Olimar, I probably would have gave it to Olimar, but both of them have received nerfs enough that like, I think it actually overall was better for Palu. These will be my -1s. Actually, wait, hold on. I didn't even realize I took Pikachu out of there. Excuse me. These are my -1s. Min Min is not even. It is not even. Or Palutena has to do way more to get in and actually do shit. The only thing she has on top of you is your disadvantage is not good. One thing that adds a layer of, I didn't even realize I was talking this loud after I took off my headset. One thing that Min Min has that is incredibly, absolutely annoying is that my back air is not as good of a back air as it is against most of the cast, and the reason is Palutena's model. Palutena, there's like, I think people still actually believe that when Palu back airs, she's intangible. No, the only thing that's intangible is the shield and like hitbox in front of her. So the reason I'm talking about this with Min Min is that a lot of your fucking ram attacks attack at an angle that always clips her. Even when I try to back air, it always goes underneath and hits Palu in the vulnerability part of her back air. So even going for stuff like that, like, oh, I could just close the gap by doing timed back airs and shit. No, it doesn't work like that, because your fucking ram goes under her all the time and sends me right back to square one. Like, you 100% win neutral. My short hop and my full hop still get hit by your walking forward tilt, like the normal ram. That's the thing. If your ram wasn't so good, like the other stuff, is whatever, but the Ram is the deciding factor to make neutral way harder for Palu than it is for Palu against Min. And then advantage state and disadvantage. My disadvantage is better off stage. Like, you know, Min's not gonna go super far off stage and shit like that. But disadvantage is still me on the ledge and you in the center of the stage. I can't even teleport because I'm gonna teleport right in front of your face because of how far you are. That is not a good option. Not only can I not teleport, but you have an extra arm attack that like you can react. Like if you go for ram towards the ledge, like down angle ram, and I like roll in or like jump teleport and like the ram misses, you just hold A and then the dragon arm hits me and I'm back off stage. Little things like that, you're in a very good spot and you don't have to hard read it. That's the thing. You don't have to like make these hard reads. Wolf versus Palu comes down to neutral, and Wolf's neutral is just better. Like advantage state and disadvantage is kind of roughly the same, but getting like to that point, Wolf has an easier time putting Palu in the worst spot. Wario was a matchup that back then, like pre-patch Wario versus pre-patch Palu's, or I think it was probably in favor of Palu or maybe even, but Wario got some nerfs, so you would think that, oh, Palutena wins for sure. She also got some nerfs that didn't really change that much versus most of the cast, but Wario is one of those characters that I do think that it actually, like, I do think it actually notably, maybe not notably, but changed enough to make it in his favor. Never do I ever see Wario get gimped in this matchup. It is so hard to kill Wario at sub 100%. That motherfucker never dies to anything Palutena does. Back then, he used to die more often to run off Nair, but Nair got nerfed. That's why I said. That's why the Nair overall didn't change much other matchups. Like the winning matchups were still basically winning, but there was some exceptions. Wario being that character, he does not die. Like, it is pretty rare to gimp Wario in this matchup, and the reason why I keep saying that is because he doesn't die early, he has access to more wafts. A general Wario player habit that I feel like since forever, they still do it. Even Gluto does it to you know, an extent. Wario's, they save waft for one stock. When they have the airspeed, dodge capabilities, and also just straight up character survivability versus certain characters to recharge another waft when they need it. And I think that's such a bad Wario habit that they just keep a waft for the final stock typically. Palutena is one of those matchups where you should be okay and feel comfortable going for multiple wafts because she doesn't gimp you ever. Palu is one of the easier characters, I believe, to combo off of like Nair. You know, she doesn't really pop out of the Nair like how some characters like Cloud and shit sometimes get hit by Nair 1, but then they miss Nair 2. That pretty much never happens to Palutena, to my knowledge. If it did, shit, I would have got top 8 that one Genesis. But yeah, that's a different topic. But yeah, no, Wario's like airspeed and whiff punish capability on Palutena is pretty solid. His 2-frame tools is pretty good, that being like forward tilt and down air. I feel like Wario's should down air more against a character with a linear like recovery with Palutena, or like Palutena if you 2-frame her, because like even if the down air doesn't kill, it just sets up the easy ass potential back air or another down air or whatever. I feel like a lot of times Wario's like just straight up only go for forward tilt, but because they want the forward tilt to actually kill. But what's good as a 2-frame move is landing a 2-frame on a character that now has no resources besides an up B, and they get sent towards the blast zone. So now the recovery is absolutely linear every time, and it makes it easier to get the 2-frame every single time. Sometimes you don't even need a 2-frame. Sometimes they just have to recover from such a distance that it's impossible to even try to get that. You know, it's just a straight up normal hit, and they need to take more advantage of that because Palutena's up B is pretty easy to 2-frame with a move like Wario's down there because it lingers for a while. So yeah, there's some stuff Wario definitely has, but the thing that pushes him to winning the matchup is what I mentioned earlier, with him being able to survive pretty long, generally like on average like 150 per stock on average. It's not a bad matchup, or like, you know, it's a pretty comfortable matchup. There are definitely some things Wario can do that you can fuck up. Like if Wario just spams Nair on your shield, you can block Nair 1 and then hit him, punish him with Nair, your own Nair, and obviously you can start comboing him and shit. But a good Wario would know not to spam Nair on your shield. You know, I'm not when I think about these matchups, I'm thinking Gluto. Overall, -1 characters, you have to just do just a tiny bit more work. The only one that you might be debatable on doing more work is Sheik, but Sheik is able to throw out a bunch of moves, miss, and still be okay. Yeah, maybe they're pressing more buttons, but like those buttons are hard to contest, you know? They're hard to contest, so in a sense, while she is doing more, you can't fight against that more, if that makes sense. Sometimes. But yeah, these -1 characters, these are characters that either A, are really hard to hit with Palu's best neutral tools. So like Pichu, Inkling, Joker, Greninja, Diddy Kong, Sheik. These are Wolf. These are characters, even like Roy. These are characters who are either very fast, they have a really low crouching dash, or their whiff punish capabilities are fucking free. Like their dash, like their foxtrot, or like their dash back goes a good distance. If you can call out a Palutena doing Nair, and you do a like a dash back, in general, it's killer on Palutena. She can't really move too much after she commits to the Nair. She's kind of like a sitting duck in that spot until the Nair ends, and you know that's a free whiff punish for some of these characters. Wolf, dash attack. Sheik can run up and dash attack, run up, grab. Joker, dash attack. Diddy Kong, banana F smash. Greninja, dash attack. You know, like so on and so forth. Samus, dash back, charge shot, dash back, grab, dash back in, or like dash away, dash back, dash attack. You know, so on and so forth. You get the idea, right? These characters can get out of scenarios really easily, and not feel the need to shield often against Palutena, and that is Palutena's probably hardest thing. Fighting against a player that is so confident against Palutena that they almost never shield is probably one of the most annoying things, because they know the distance that they need to be. That, oh, Palutena jumped, I'm here, she can't hit me with this. Or if she presses any button like a Nair or something, I could literally just walk back, instant dash attack, punish, boom, fuck you up and stuff like that, or like get stuff started. You know, a lot of Inklings love jumping, so it doesn't feel hard to hit them sometimes, but them dashing around on the ground and shit like that, or like jump back here and stuff, it's just good enough. Like, you know, good enough to like create a level of annoyance for Palutena that it's not so simple. And like obviously when she runs, she's like literally in the ground with her fucking dash animation. It's just so stupid. Maybe Rob might seem out of place. I think at best I'll be okay if people put Rob at even. But Rob, I'm gonna put at losing, just because dude never dies. He has literally 8,000 ways to kill you from 10%. Like, just the amount of times that you can fuck up against Rob, and like sometimes have to worry that you're gonna die for fucking up against Rob at literally 20% is not okay. It is not okay at all. Even though Rob is a big body character, and so like Nair is pretty effective against him and stuff, his neutral is still pretty good against Palutena. He has a really good up B out of shield, or not up B. He has a really good up smash out of shield. Gyro follow-ups are really good. His down tilt is incredible. His grab game is really good. Something that's extremely good too versus Palu is that his back air has, I don't even know. Let me look that shit up real quick. The sweet spot is frame 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 5 frames. And then the sour spot is the rest of the move, which is frames 24 to 32. That is so fucking stupid. That is so stupid. If you're having to come back with a character that does not have a hitbox on their up B and they have to grab the ledge. Palu definitely has to smack up Rob way more than Rob does. And I'm not even saying that because he's a heavyweight, but just like the neutral interactions and shit like that, you know, I have to be way more on point than the Rob does, because I get down tilted, it trips. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if it trips, it just combos into a grab up close, and then Here comes the mini game. Thanks for playing the game. Why do I have Sheik and losing? I mean, yeah, obviously Sheik is fast and hard to hit, but Sheik's combos are really like consistent on Palutena as well. You know, you kind of get suffocated by like her like frame data and like the way that she fights, but the main thing is that like getting hit by like forward tilts or like down tilts into drag downs and stuff like that, you know, I'm a pretty good target. These characters, you just have to put a little more effort into beating them. And I know some people will be like, oh, but Sheik can't kill, or Inkling has those moments. When I mean effort, I mean like winning the neutral exchanges. If Inkling can't kill and Sheik can't kill, but I've dealt a total of 10% in the last 9 interactions, then I'm losing. What's stopping me from losing the next 9 interactions? I know what it is. These motherfuckers get greedy because they're like, oh my god, please die, please die. Let me start throwing out smash attacks or Inkling side B, and then they start getting fucked up. But they need to realize how fucking, like how much interactions that they just won for free when they were just playing the game normally and not worried about the kill. Let the kill come to you. Why is Wolf losing? I feel like he's easy to fight off stage. He is easy to fight off stage, but when it comes down to, Wolf wins neutral more. That's literally what it comes down to. If Palu had a better neutral game than Wolf, she would beat Wolf. Wolf keeping Palu in disadvantage is pretty easy, like keeping her on the ledge or like ledge trapping her, or even if she tries to teleport past you. Wolf has one of the best dash attacks, goes really far, kicks you back off stage to the other side, rinse and repeat. It's really hard to get your footing on the ground against Wolf. Palutena can close out Wolf's stock off stage, but like I just mentioned, the hard part is actually getting Wolf off stage. If you're fighting a shitty Wolf, then yeah, obviously it'll be easier to land grabs and stuff, but Wolf's dash back is very, very solid. And like I mentioned earlier, if you call a Palutena doing short hop Nair and you just dash back, it's a free punish for Wolf. Instant dash attack, sour spot into run up grab, down throw dash attack, so on and so forth. You know, like you win neutral from off of that one thing. And even if like Palutena is like playing a lot slower and like, but still throwing out moves, you could throw out like a laser here and there. You don't really need laser in the matchup. You can kind of throw it out if you're feeling it, but you honestly don't even need it. I said Marth, well, I guess I put Bayo and Shulk here, but I said Marth and me Brawler could potentially be even. But I think Lucina is a losing matchup. It's just that for Marth, it's just like, you know, obviously you got the inconsistency of landing tippers and shit like that. Even at peak play, it's just a factor, you know, human capabilities and shit like that is bound to happen. So it's something that you always have to worry about. And I know you can say that the same thing for Roy, but it's different with Roy because Roy's sour spots are far away as opposed to up close like it is for Marth. And, you know, obviously if Roy hits you up close, like reads a roll or something, you roll into him, sweet spot side B, sweet spot jab back air, sweet spot forward tilt, you know, all these things that like most characters need to do. They need to get up close and do shit, you know? I've never said, I know I joke when I say Palutena is like mid and stuff like that, because, you know, I fuck up like every Palutena I fight and stuff because it's me, you know, I'm obviously very good against my own character and shit. But the problem is, in this day and age, she is good, as you can see, against characters that ultimately don't take up the high spots. And you can be like, oh, but what about Cloud with Spargo? That motherfucker don't go no Cloud against Palu. He go right here, boom, -2. He's like, this matchup is so free. Like, you know, why am I even gonna worry about? I'm pretty sure Spargo doesn't even think Palu loses or Palu beats Cloud. He just knows that it's so effortless to go Aegis against Palu. He's like, I don't need that shit. And then boom, back in the same spot, getting fucked up by these characters, or like the characters in the bottom portion. Oh, hey, what up, Light? How you doing, bro? Oh, what? Nah, bro. He just flew, used the R-Wing all the way up to the heavens, man. Come on, what are you talking about, bro? Come on. It's your matchup chart, bro. You lose to all these characters. Come on, look. Same character, right? All right. -2. There's actually 3 -2s in this. There's 3 -2s in this 5. But, you know, I wanted to create a little dramatic effect, you know? So I'm going to put the most obvious one. Boom, -2. This matchup, horrible. This matchup is so ass. Like, everything I mentioned about the -1, just imagine that shit with a fucking slow down foresight roll and free tilts and all. Like, it's like the combination of Sheik, Fox, and some other shit, some effortless shit that is just not okay. Yeah, Aegis, I mean, y'all have seen me fight Cosmos, and I'm not even basing that shit off of Cosmos. I'm thinking like even like when Spargo goes Aegis against like Chag. I guess that's like the only one I've seen him. Oh, he's beat like Rafflo really badly with Aegis recently, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, I'm getting a headache just thinking about the matchup. Character is fucking toxic as fuck. Yeah, I just think the amount of errors that Aegis could do against Palu is way too much. And then the opposite, obviously, cannot be said. Palu has to play so on point. Like, let me tell y'all something. To this day, if Palu nairs Mithra's shield, you can lab up the timing to get a guaranteed foresight. Like if Palu is on the ledge, drops off and does rising nair, you can lab the timing to get a guaranteed foresight, roll back and charge F smash on the punish on that same exact nair. And I still don't see it. You can even do not from the ledge, but if a Palu jumps up into Mithra's shield and nairs her, you can spot dodge and up smash, and you will hit me in the middle of my nair. Like if you time it right. My best move in neutral typically is now rendered useless. I have to watch out and respect that shit. Next character. Pikachu. Holy fuck. I forget what event it was. I think it was like a Genesis recently where Esam had to clutch it out versus a Palutena. I think it was a Palutena from NorCal. I can't recall the name. I apologize. But how does that happen? Like truthfully, how does that happen? I've been complaining about this one since the game came out, and she's gotten like 7 nerfs since then. It is awful. Pikachu has not got no nerfs since the start of Ultimate or ever in Ultimate, and my characters only got worse. And you mean to tell me over time it's even or -1? Nah, get the fuck out of here. You speaking that crazy shit right now. The amount of whiff punish freedom that you have in this matchup as Pikachu, you literally, when you walk up to a station and you know you're gonna fight a Palutena, you could take a screwdriver, open up your GameCube controller or your Pro controller and remove the shield buttons, and you can still win the set. You can legitimately win the set. The reason why Esam probably has close encounters versus Palu is because that bot uses neutral B all the damn time for Pikachu neutral, and eventually you're gonna get back aired or you're gonna get hit by an aerial because like he gets too comfortable behind the Thunder Jolt. Shiny Mark, he probably doesn't have like top level Palu experience, but I would be confident that the way he plays is that annoying -2 way, because he knows when to not press shit and like get like greedy and stuff like that. He's not like a Thunder Jolt like spammer and like run behind it and shit like that, you know. He knows when to take his time. He will time you out if he has to. Like he will do that shit. Esam will not do that. Esam's aggressive, but he's allowed to be that aggressive because Pikachu is that hard to hit. If he was this aggressive with a character the size of like Marth and shit, O2er. I'm sorry. Okay, maybe not O2er. He's not bad, but like, you know, he would be getting like opened up a lot more. But the thing is, with this game, we all know it, Pikachu pancaking and all this shit is really stupid, and it enables him to get away with stuff like that. And again, especially against Palutena, if you cross up her shield and she can't grab you, sometimes she can't even grab like some of the moves that you land with and shit like that because you pancake under her grab hitbox, shit like that. Like that shouldn't be happening, but you know, that is how it is, and that's why this matchup sucks. Yo, editors, when I say he's an O2er, put like lightning strikes. Thank you. All right, one final -2. Who is it? Who? Y'all can barely see, but it's Fox, Steve, and Sonic. And the answer is Sonic. This matchup is fucking garbage. I'll be in shock if Sonic's ever loses to any Palutena in his entire life. Outside of that one guy, who was it? Yo, chat, can somebody refresh my brain? It was like SmashCon 2019. Sonics versus a Palutena. I don't remember his name. Mario? Yeah, that was before peak Sonics. I know, that's why I'm joking. But an on point Sonics like the way that he be playing and shit like that, like when he's on fire, no Palu is beating him, promise you. I don't give a fuck how much Palu experience you have or Sonic experience you have on the opposite end, you're not beating him. I'm not like bad against Sonic. I could be better, but I feel like when I hit Sonic, it's because he messes up, you know? And that's, what do I say about Pikachu? What do I say about Aegis, but more so Pikachu? I feel like when the Pikachu plays that lazy neutral, or like they fuck up something, like do a random ass up B into my shield and then don't go back, or like just up B one time and I grab them, they fucked up. Why did they do that? Like, I shouldn't have gotten a hit here, but they sucked in the moment, so I got a hit. I feel like that's the same. I feel like that's the same for Sonic, in my opinion. Chase beats Sonic's a lot, actually. That's just incorrect, I promise you. You know what? Let me watch this. You don't pick up for me, I'll block him.
Your call has been forwarded.
Anyways, if I'm wrong about Sonic, he's still a -1. In no way, shape, or form will he be even. I don't believe it. To me, I feel like Aegis is the hardest one. And the reason why I would say Aegis is the hardest one is because her moves intercept my moves so much that it feels like effortless, or it feels like I can't do shit. At least versus Sonic and Pikachu, at least I'm throwing out my moves. Granted, they're missing because I can't hit them, but at least I can play the game and throw out moves. Versus Aegis is like everything I fucking do just gets out frame data, up tilt into up air, into this shit, into like down tilt, I roll and then they turn around and I get hit. It's like everything I'm doing is I guess correctly, and my reward is disadvantage state. There's Steve and there's Fox. Let's get Fox out the way. I know Light's literally been in the chat like, bloodshot red eyes. It's -1. But closer to -2 than even, if I had to choose. I think Light is low-key warming up to Fox being -1. At the very least. If I could make, oh my God. You know what? I'm gonna call him right now. Maybe he can agree. Come on. Maybe he can agree. Maybe he can agree. I need this.
You saved my character for top 2 and think I'll agree with your opinion?
Oh, okay. I don't actually do the top 2. What the fuck? Wow, Chase is calling me the moment I call him. Oh my God. No, you're waiting, Chase.
Don't answer him.
Yeah, you're waiting. You're waiting. You're waiting, bro. You missed your chance. For now.
Yeah.
All right. Look. Come on, bro. We've played enough. I know I'm in my washed era and shit, but like we played enough. That one tip I gave you changed everything.
I ain't gonna lie. I clicked off to watch a video and I clicked in as soon as you started talking about Fox, because that's just the curse that I have.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, there was one comment. There was one of your naifus who commented saying, "We see you, dog," at Light. That shit was funny.
Yeah, it's because I said that you're watching. I was like, I know you watching with bloodshot red eyes, waiting for me to hover Fox into like a spot and shit like that.
So being real, I think Fox beats Palu. But
right, good night.
I am on the opposite side of the spectrum as you. I think it's closer to even than it is closer to minus.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Because you still have the thing about Palu is that like once she gets momentum, it really is hard to like stop her. Yeah. And in the sense where it's like not like her neutral's blah. I just mean like once she gets a hit, it's like I can die off this hit because Palu does have very good tools to edgeguard Fox.
Yeah. I was gonna say like my edge guarding against you is definitely like peak of what Palu should be doing in terms of like, oh yeah, you're here, you're dead, you know, kind of thing. Or like same with auto reticles and stuff. But no Palu's doing that, so it probably looks worse or ends up being worse for them than it probably actually is. But no, you're right. You're right about that, but I got a W.
Me saying -1 is a W for you.
Oh, absolutely. Because you used to say it was even. But I mean, obviously over time, you're like, okay, you're thinking of new stuff to further like get more damage from your setups and also like realize like, oh, I could just do this and stuff, you know? That's the problem with Palu. Like, obviously, I don't like when it comes down to it, when we talk about it, I never say she's like bad. It's just that she kind of just got like power crept because a lot of characters, like her meta is very straightforward. She doesn't have like tech chases and shit like that she can do like off of a whim that allow a new layer of gameplay. Everything's pretty straightforward. You know she's looking for a back air. You know she's trying to whiff punish your shit with dash attack. You know she's gonna nair if you jump a lot. You know, all that type of shit. Other characters, even some that she beat, like Rob, back then, bro, when Smash Ultimate came out, that shit was a +2 for Rob. I mean, for Palu. +2 or +3. You will never catch me saying that shit again. In this current era, hell fucking no. I could die in 7 different ways at 10%. So shit changed because over time people are realizing new ways to like further grow their character's meta, and unfortunately Palu's meta has stagnated, you know? Even me, like I can't come up with new shit to like make things like, you know, to find new answers against Aegis and shit. Like I would have by now with having Cosmos being one of my main train partners, but clearly this dude is playing at peak performance against me every time in friendlies. And I'm like, fuck, I can't figure anything out, you know?
I think Chase and Louis Money are both very good players.
Yeah, of course. In fact, the Palutena player base does have some like really solid players. Raflo,
Yeah.
Jagaimo, Chase, Louis Money, Jen, so on and so forth, you know, like Midnight and stuff like that. It's just that like when it comes to it, the characters she actually beats are characters that don't matter where it matters the most in brackets, which are like, you know, the Diddy Kong, right? Like current right now is like the Aegis, Sonic, Pikachu, well maybe not Pikachu, Shiny Mark, go to more shit, but Fox,
Stay your ass home, respectfully.
Joker, you know, shit like that, you know, and like, you know, there's some Samuses out there, Yara, Siski and shit, like Icy Mist and stuff like that, Zomba for Rob, Mutace like is really fucking good against Palutena as well and stuff, so that doesn't help. But you know, so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? Like these are characters that you wouldn't be surprised to see in top 8, and you can kind of say the same for some Palus, but when Palu fights those other characters in top 8, she typically gets knocked out, you know. It's rare. It's rare for her to.
I'm very biased. You're like preaching to the wrong choir with this, because like I'm just a believer that a lot of players are good with characters and they can be very good. But I do think that certain people who pioneer characters, like you, for example, would probably take it to a new level. But, you know, I think, for example, I think Fox mains are amazing. I think if I wasn't around, a lot of the Fox fans wouldn't see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that for like MK, Leo, Joker, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
for
that
sure, for
Spark
sure.
and
Yeah,
Cloud.
yeah, I get you.
It's
Yeah.
like I think a lot of people are very good, but people need the pioneer sometimes. You know?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's
So I feel like in that scenario, it's kind of hard with Palu because you're not like competing anymore.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to hear your take on that, because I'm like, I knew that, you know, obviously, yeah, I don't have the motivation and stuff, but like, you know, I do try when we play and shit like that, especially when we're playing offline. And I'm sure you've been like leaning more towards like, okay, you do have to do a little bit more to like get these stocks. It's either I gimp you or I get fucked up. That's usually how it goes. Yeah. So, all right, though, I'll let you go. Thank you.
All right, I'll be lurking.
All right, peace out. And there you go. That's number 1 right there. Hold on, that's a W right there. But let's call this guy over here. He's probably watching the stream. Oh, you better pick the fuck up. Oh.
Hello?
Oh, okay. Yo.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So all right. So quick. I need two. I have 2 questions for you. Sonic versus Palu. -2. Yeah or no?
Probably worse, to be honest. The Sonic player is just really bad, really bad for losing that. If a Sonic player ever loses to Palu, they really should stop playing the game. The only any Sonic player I beat, though. But, like, that's really terrible.
And then somebody said that you beat Sonics a lot. Is that true?
I've beaten Sonic's a couple of sets, yeah. I think 6 or 7. He's up, though, a lot. You know who I beat a lot, though, is Wrath.
Okay.
Beating Wrath a lot.
Okay. All right. So I mean, but you have.
Though they're losing, to be honest. That's like kind of I like every time that I beat Sonic in a set, it feels like he lets me win. If that makes sense. Like he does not play the matchup optimally, and the next time we play, I feel like I can't hit him anymore.
Okay.
What was your second question?
No, that was the second question. Like,
yeah.
or I guess I didn't really word it as a question, but like, you know, like, have you beaten Sonics a lot? But he has like, oh. Like you said, he has a lot. He's up a lot. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, he's up a lot.
Fair enough.
Are you streaming right now?
Yeah, I'm doing a matchup chart, and yeah, I got to the end. My minus.
Oh, you're making a matchup chart. Oh wait, where'd you put Sephiroth?
+1.
Oh yeah, like +1 Sephiroth wins. That's a good spot. That's a good spot.
What? I think we're kind of breaking up.
Oh yeah. I mean, your match chart sounds good. Sonic winning, Sephiroth winning. That's a good chart, bro. I'm sure you killed it. Where'd you put Aegis?
-2.
What else is it -2? Just Aegis and Sonic?
Pikachu.
Oh, I think Pikachu's even.
Yeah, that West Coast water, it needs something.
I beat Shiny Mark in the matchup like multiple times.
Online?
Yeah, and offline. We played a lot. I beat Eastham offline too.
Who?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I was kidding.
All right, I'll let you
Well,
know, bro. I'll get straight.
well, what you said about Sonic is what I say about Pikachu. Yeah, they should stop playing the game.
I'm not gonna disagree with a small character beating us. Like, if you think Pikachu wins +2, he probably does. I'm probably just playing the matchup way better than the Pikachu's. Wait, last question. Where'd you put Peach?
-1.
Okay, no, that's a good chart. That's a W chart. Sephiroth losing, Peach losing, ZSS losing. That's a good chart. All right, bro. I'll let you go. Have a good stream.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, take care, bro.
Yeah, good stream, bro. Yeah, see you, man.
I see you. Bro, we need to help the West Coast players, or like West Coast, they in some dire need, bro. Oh shit, I just realized that Steve was not anywhere. And for the final character, I'll put it at even. I will put Steve at even for 2 reasons. It's one, I've truly never faced a top player Steve, my entire life. So some of the things that I think in my head that are like easy to fight against for Steve may not be as easy because I need to fight a better Steve. But if somebody were to win the matchup, I do think Steve wins. Maybe it's me because of like my aggression and stuff. I'm comfortable going around blocks and doing all this stuff. Those blocks force people to play a way that they don't want to play. I don't give a fuck about them blocks. I'm gonna play that way anyway, you know, that kind of thing. So it never phases me that, oh, they're starting to play lane with blocks and shit. I'm still gonna hop around and make it like, I'm gonna make them stop mining the materials. That's the first thing, or that's the important thing. Because if I make them stop mining materials and they shield instead, that's fine with me, because those blocks that I jumped over, they're disintegrating over time. So it's not like if I don't do nothing, then nothing happens at all. Those blocks are, it's ticking away. They're getting old or they're crumbling away and shit like that. So if he's holding shield, eventually it goes away. If he tries to roll away or something, that's fine. He's not mining materials. That's what I care about. When I fight Steve and he is hiding behind a block, that's what I care about. If he's shielding or throwing out attacks over there, that's fine. The blocks are going away. Eventually he's gonna have, there's not gonna be anything there for him to like hide or like, you know, hide under or like behind and shit like that until he gets me away with like a back air or some shit like that, you know? He has to hit me. He has to hit me. Yanni's probably like the strongest Steve that I fought. Like when he, like back then, I don't know if he plays or like if he like casually plays or anything like that. But, you know, I was playing him back then. And I got a good amount of like Steve information for both Sephiroth and Palu at the time. But, you know, it's been a couple years. So that's why I'm saying like, I'm not entirely confident in this placement. But me, myself, I am confident that Palu is definitely one of the better characters against Steve, or should be, toolkit wise and stuff like that. And also like back air is really good against minecart. If I fight a anvil mashing Steve, you know, counter obviously reflect, fuck that shit up if you can call it out. You know, there's stuff that they have to watch out for. They can't mindlessly press stuff, you know. If they press stuff, they're just gonna lose materials or early stocks. I didn't really talk much about Greninja. Greninja might be even, but like he falls in line with a lot of those characters that play a really good whiff punish character, or whiff punish kind of style. Some people might compare it to like maybe like Zero Suit a little bit, but like I don't compare it to like Zero Suit. I just feel like it's easier to get hit by something really quick from Greninja and it catches you a bad DI and then you die for it. Like, oh, he whiff punished with a down tilt, up smash, or you got hit by a whiff punished by a dash attack and now it confirms into a forward air at 110% near the ledge, you're dead. You know, no way you put Samus in -1, bro. That matchup is free. It is not free for Palu. You are actually insane. The only thing that's maybe free is when Samus is above you and like just spamming down Bs and shit and like getting those up airs, but no, not at all. Samus ledge trap is so broken, it makes Palutena looks like even though she could teleport through characters and stuff, it makes it feel like she can't do that. That's it for the tier list, or I keep saying tier list, for the matchup chart. I'm actually gonna make one more adjustment. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna make one more adjustment, or maybe not one more adjustment, but I'm gonna put that was on my mind like for so long throughout the stream, but I'm gonna commit to it. I'm gonna put it right there. Me Brawler might be +1 though. But yeah, chat and YouTube, this is the end of the matchup chart. Let me know if you think I'm wrong about something. You know, I may be right about a lot of things, but you know, I'm not saying that this, well, I did say this is the definitive matchup chart back then, or like at the start of the video and stream. But you know, in your experience as the other character versus Palu, you can share what you think about it and stuff like that, so I can block the comment. No, I'm just playing, just so I can see your thoughts on it and stuff. And yeah, overall, Palutena is still not a bad character. And you know, there are some characters here that like are meta or like common-ish that she does okay versus, or even if it's a matchup that's even, it's okay to be even. That's good. That's still a win. You don't want to be in a losing spot, like a losing matchup spot. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you disagree or agree, keep it respectful. Unless you say some stupid shit, then I might spawn in there and hit you with the stupid shit back, but don't do that. I do think Palu is still viable in the sense of like, you know, compared to other characters like me Sword Fighter and Ness and Meta Knight and shit like that. Those characters I wouldn't really say they're viable, or like, you know, they have a lot going against them, you know. But I think Palutena is in a much better spot than those characters. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the characters in -1 and -2 are the current leading meta characters. So as a Palu player, I mean, I do try to think of ways to like make these matchups better, or like, you know, to make it more manageable, especially like those last three. But it is really hard. Her meta has kind of stagnated, but you know, that doesn't mean that it stagnated forever. It's just currently how it is right now with her. In a tier list, if I had to like guess where she'd probably be in like the 15 to 20 area. 11 to 20 area, I think, is a safe spot for her. She's kind of like a top tier gatekeeper in a sense. Like most of the characters that beat her, they are in the top tier. They beat a lot of other characters, including her, you know. But now that, you know, you get editors, you can put this too. She's still mid, all right? I carry her. Only me. No me, bottom 50. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Or whenever the hell you guys watch this YouTube video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.